Okay, imagine this situation. You're setting up maybe a really high-end auditorium, or it could be your dream home theater, or even, those big digital signs you see over there.
Complex setups.
Exactly. And you've got this perfect 4K 60 hertz HDR signal source. But the screen, it's way over there. Maybe 300, perhaps even 400 feet away.
That's a long haul for video.
It really is. You've got the amazing display, the best media player, but bridging that gap, that long-distance connection, that's where it gets super tricky.
Yeah, standard HDMI cables they just won't cut it over those distances. You'll get signal loss, lag.
Or just nothing at all. It's frustrating.
Definitely.
So yeah, that frustration, that's exactly why we're doing a deep dive today into a very specific solution. It's the WolfPack 4K 60 hertz HDMI HDBaseT Extender. Goes up to 400 feet. It's from HDTV Supply. Our mission, really, is to unpack what this gadget does, why it's so important for anyone juggling these advanced AV setups, and how it actually solves those tricky long-distance problems. We're looking at the HDTV 150CG model, which runs about $250 right now.
And it's important to stress this isn't just like a simple adapter you plug in.
Right. More to it than that.
Oh, yeah. The core technology here is HDBaseT. That's key. This WolfPack extender, it's built to send not just your high-def video and audio, but also control signals, things like RS232, bidirectional IR. All of that goes over one single standard CT6 network cable.
One cable. For everything.
One cable. And it maintains that top quality, 4K HDR with basically no noticeable delay, no latency. It's really a full transmission package.
Wow, okay, that does sound like a powerful bit of kit. So fundamentally, how does it work? How does this WolfPack extender system, take the signal from A to B?
Sure. So at its heart, it's actually pretty straightforward in concept. You get two boxes. A transmitter, the TX unit, and a receiver, the RX unit.
TX and RX, got it.
You plug your source, maybe it's your Blu-ray player, your gaming console, whatever, into the HDMI input on the transmitter.
Okay.
Then you run that single CT6 cable, just one from the transmitter, over to the receiver, however far that might be, up to its limit.
Right, up to 400 feet or so.
Exactly. And then the receiver just plugs into your TV, your projector, whatever display you're using, with a short HDMI cable. Conceptually simple.
Seems simple enough.
But here's where it gets interesting. That single cable, it's not just carrying video and audio, it's also carrying power.
Oh, right. You mentioned that. Power over cable. PoC.
Precisely. Power over cable, or PoC. It means you only need one AC power adapter for the entire system. You plug it in at either the transmitter or the receiver end.
And the other box gets power through the CT6 cable.
That's it. Think about installing this in, say, a ceiling-mounted projector location.
Where getting a power outlet might be a huge pain.
Exactly. Or in an existing building where running new electrical is expensive or just not feasible. PoC makes these installs so much cleaner, faster, and frankly possible. Saves a lot of hassle and cost.
Yeah, I can see that being a massive advantage. Not just signal quality, but practical installation benefits. Okay, so let's talk specs. You mentioned 4K 2K at 60 Hz, 4.4.4 at 18 Gbps. That sounds impressive, but what does it actually look like for someone watching the screen?
Right, let's break that down. 4K 60 Hz, that's the resolution and frame rate. 4K means ultra-high definition, incredibly sharp picture. 60 Hz means smooth motion, crucial for sports, movies, gaming.
No jitter or blurriness.
Exactly. But the 4.4.4 part, that's about color.
Okay, how so?
It refers to chroma subsampling. Basically, it means every single pixel gets its full original color information. There's no compression of the color data to save bandwidth, which happens in like 4.2.2 or 4.2.0 formats you often see in broadcasting or streaming.
So more accurate color.
Perfectly accurate color, uncompromised. For things like professional video editing or maybe medical imaging, or even just if you're a real video file, that full color fidelity is, well, it's critical. You see exactly what the source intended.
No weird color shifts or artifacts.
None. And then 18 Gbps, that's the data rate, the bandwidth. Think of it like a massive highway for all that 4K 60 Hz 4.4.4 data.
Plenty of lanes for the traffic.
Precisely. It ensures everything gets through instantly, without bottlenecks. It means it fully supports HDMI 2.0 specs, HDCP 2.2 for copy protection.
And all the fancy HDR formats, like Dolby Vision, HDR10 plus set.
Yep, it handles HDR, HDR10 plus set, Dolby Vision. All that high dynamic range information sails through, so you're getting the full benefit of modern display technology, the deep blacks, the bright highlights, the vibrant colors. It's really future-proofing the connection.
Okay, so visually it sounds like it delivers delivers the absolute top tier.
Yeah.
But you mentioned it does more than just video. What about audio and those control signals?
Right. Because a good setup often needs more integration. So first, on the transmitter box, there's an HDMI loop output.
A loop output, what's that for?
It means you can connect a second local display right there at the source. So imagine a presenter needs to see their slides locally while they're being shown on a big projector far away.
Like a confidence monitor.
Exactly. Or maybe you want to record the feed locally. Very handy feature. Then, over at the receiver end, there's a de-embedded audio output. It's an analog stereo output, like a 3.5mm jack.
So you can pull the audio out separately?
Yep. You can send the audio to a completely separate sound system. Maybe a big amplifier and speakers in that auditorium we talked about. Gives you loads of flexibility instead of relying on, say, the projector's potentially weak speakers.
Makes sense. More control over the sound.
Yeah.
And what about device control? You mentioned IR and RS232.
Yeah, this is where it gets really useful for integrated systems. It has bidirectional IR pass-through.
Bidirectional.
Meaning the infrared remote signals can travel both ways. You can be at the display end, hundreds of feet away, and point your remote to control the source device like your Blu-ray player tucked away in a rack somewhere.
Okay, convenient.
Or you could be at the source end and control the display, turn the projector on or off, change inputs, whatever. The IR signals pass through the T6 along with everything else.
Nice. And RS232, that sounds a bit more industrial.
It is, and it's incredibly powerful for pro setups or high-end home automation. RS232 is a serial communication standard. It allows for very precise, reliable two-way control.
More reliable than IR.
Often, yes. Especially for complex commands or getting feedback from the device. Think about integrating this with control systems like Control4, Crestron, Alon. Those systems love RS232.
So the main control brain can talk directly to the projector or the display, send specific commands, check its status.
Exactly. Turn on projector, select HDMI 1, confirm it's on. That kind of robust two-way communication. It's much more solid than just blasting IR signals and hoping for the best.
That level of control really does make it a system component, not just an extender. Okay, so you keep coming back to HDBaseT as the magic behind this. Now, lots of people might hear video over CAT cable and think, oh, that's just HDMI over Ethernet, right? Like using network switches. Can you clarify what HDBaseT really is?
That's a super important point to clear up because no, HDBaseT is not HDMI over Ethernet. Not at all. While it uses the same type of cable, AT6 or AT7, HDBaseT is a dedicated separate standard. It's specifically designed by the HDBase Alliance for transmitting AV signals.
So purpose-built for video.
Exactly. It's optimized to send uncompressed, high-definition video and audio, plus those control signals, plus power the 5-play feature set, they call it, over long distances, using that standard copper cabling.
Uncompressed is key there, right, for quality.
Absolutely. And the other huge differentiator is latency. Or rather, the lack of it.
The delay.
Yeah. The documentation mentions latency figures like less than 7 microseconds over 220 feet. Maybe 3 microseconds at 100 feet.
Microseconds, not milliseconds.
Microseconds. That's virtually zero delay. It's imperceptible. Think about live sound reinforcement in a church or auditorium. If the video on screen is even slightly behind the live audio...
You had that whole lip sync issue. Drives people crazy.
Right. Or imagine multiple displays in a large space needing to be perfectly synchronized. HDBaseT's near-zero latency makes that possible. Generic HDMI over IP solutions often introduce much more significant delay due to encoding and network packet handling.
So HDBase is using the Ethernet cable infrastructure, but it's running its own protocol, specifically for AV, with almost no delay.
You got it. That's the essence of it. It provides the performance needed without requiring, specialized fiber optic cables or complex network setups. Very practical.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Powerful tech.
Yeah.
Which usually means you have to install it correctly.
Oh, absolutely. You can have the best extender in the world, but if the installation isn't right...
You're not going to get the performance.
Exactly. And the documentation is pretty clear on this. Cabling is critical. They strongly recommend using shielded solid-core CT6. Specifically, they mention testing with CT6 shielded SFTP, 500 megahertz, 23-gauge solid with shielded connectors.
Okay, that's very specific. SFTP, shielded solid core.
Yeah. Shielded helps protect against interference. Solid core generally performs better over distance than stranded. The bottom line is, don't cheap out on the cable. Use good quality, properly shielded CT6. terminated correctly.
And termination matters too.
Big time. They advise against using things like EZ45 connectors or running the signal through patch panels or passive wall plates if you can avoid it.
Why's that? Seems convenient.
Convenience can come at the cost of signal integrity. Every connection point, every break in the cable is a potential point of failure or signal degradation. A direct point-to-point run with properly terminated shielded connectors on both ends gives you the best possible result.
So direct wire is possible.
Ideally, yes. And another smart tip, especially for really critical installs, if the budget allows, run a second CC6 cable alongside the main one as a backup.
Redundancy, like a spare tire.
Exactly. If something ever happens to the primary cable, you just swap over to the backup. Could save a major headache down the line.
Good thinking. What about interference? You mentioned shielding, but anything else to watch out for?
Yes. Electromagnetic interference, EMI. Keep the Tech T6 cables physically away from sources of EMI. That means things like mobile phones, microwave ovens, radio equipment, even fluorescent lighting ballasts, and definitely high voltage power lines.
Keep the data cable away from noisy electrical stuff.
Right. Give it some space. And follow standard wiring practices like TIEEI 568B when you terminate the ends. Consistency matters for performance.
Okay, so quality cable, direct runs, proper termination, and avoid interference.
Got it. Seems like paying attention during installation is key.
It really, really is. It protects your investment in the hardware.
The documentation also seems to anticipate some common questions. It confirms the package includes both the transmitter and the receiver, right? You don't buy them separately.
Correct. It's sold as a pair, TX and RX. And it includes that one AC adapter because of the P-PoC feature. So you get everything you need to make the link.
Okay. And there's a specific note about the IR remote function, something about power. Yes, that's a small but crucial detail. While the extender sends the main HDMI signal perfectly fine if it's coming from, say, a matrix switcher, the IR remote control pass-through feature is generally designed more for a simple one-source-to-one display setup, but the key thing is where you plug in the power adapter if you're using IR.
Okay. Where does it go?
If you need that IR remote functionality to work, the single power adapter must be connected to the receiver RX unit, the one at the display end.
Not the transmitter.
Not if you want the IR to work reliably. It's just how the power and IR circuits are designed in this specific model for that feature. It's a detail that could definitely trip people up if they don't spot it in the manual.
Good to know. Connect power at the RX if using IR.
Okay, so let's kind of wrap this up. What's the big picture here for you, the listener, maybe struggling with these long AV runs? This WolfPack HDBaseT Extender, it seems like a really solid, right. It uses that powerful HD-based tech over standard CT6, delivering crystal clear pictures, sound, and that vital low latency for seamless control.
It really feels like a complete solution to a common and often very frustrating problem in AV design.
It is. And, diving deep into just this one piece of hardware, it really underscores how sophisticated modern AV transmission has become.
Yeah, it's not just about plugging cables in anymore.
Not at all. And it makes you think, doesn't it? If we connect this to the broader context, how often do people, maybe even yourself, focus heavily on the source and the display, the flashy bits, but kind of underestimate the importance of the connection between them?
The invisible infrastructure.
Exactly.
Right.
The cabling, the transmission method, how many apparent problems, glitches, or just slightly off experiences might actually stem from limitations there. Issues that a well-understood, properly installed solution, like this HDBaseT system, could have just solved from the beginning.
That's a really interesting point. It makes you wonder, what other potentially overlooked components in your own setup, whether it's home theater or professional, might be subtly holding back the full experience, just waiting for a closer look?
Something to think about. What's the weakest link in your chain? It might not be where you expect.